Magical teleporting dog. It's Murphy. He's a cute and curly golden demigod. You're such a good dog. Good dog, good dog, good dog, good dog. You're such a good dog.
On the 6 o'clock screen, everybody talking but they never say a thing. Files all sealed while the people scream why. Truth gets buried while the headlines multiply. Gag order shadows cover up the stain. Public trust dying every single day. Backroom deals with a courtroom grin. Justice ain't blind if the money walks in. Plea deal, signature, stamp and repeat. Another jury never gets a seat. 12 angry voices replaced by a trade system so cheap while accountability fades. Listen, can you hear the silence break? Listen, how much trust can people take? Hey, hey, just tell the truth tonight. Hey, bring it all into the light. No more secrets, no more walls, no more shadows in these halls. Devil's advocates in the crowd tonight, saying truth and transparency are a public right. Just tell the truth. Settlement culture made the jury disappear. Fear gets traded for convenience here. Take the deal or roll the dice. That ain't justice, that's pressure disguised. People lose faith every single time when the facts stay hidden behind legal lines. Evidence locked where nobody sees. Then they wonder why the public don't believe. The Constitution fading in the haze. Deals in chambers rewriting the case. Truth shouldn't need permission to breathe in. Freedom dies when the people leave. Listen, you can't build trust with closed doors. Listen, people know there's something restore the public trust tonight. Just tell the truth.
Starts like the music was going to start all over again. Welcome to A Crimes After Dark on a Monday night. Oh my gosh, I'm beaten. I've been run over by a truck. I've been getting on the exercise bike a lot, and I am dying. Like, I am sore absolutely everywhere. And by the way, while it doesn't look like I'm doing a whole lot, I spent all day working. I did a video for the Beyond channel. I did 2 member-only videos for book reviews that we're doing on 2 different books, and then caught some news, got on a bike, went up a hill twice, both ways in the snow, barefoot. I did a lot of working today. So I've got some things that I want to share, including when I was going through the mail as one of my routines, I had a user send me a clip, a news story that just broke about a drug trafficking problem that was caught in Pennsylvania, out of Pennsylvania, in fraternities, Sigma Chi leading the charge of drug trafficking across the United States using CIs for controlled buys of drugs. It's in the news today. I'm going to show it to you, and I'm going to relate it to a certain case that we're working on. Controlled buys to try to crack down on the cocaine trafficking across our country, led by Sigma Chi and the Delts, all the people you've heard about in our case. We're going to lead with that after we get through Robin and 1-1 and get the 1-1's monologue done, and then we'll hit the news and we'll do some other things tonight. So Robin and 1-1, welcome to the stage. How you guys doing?
Howdy.
Hello. Hello.
Howdy. Good to see you.
Yeah, likewise.
Lots of stuff going on. And
There's
Yeah.
a million things. There's a
million things. We
going
can't even cover it all. So we got,
No.
we're not really covering it here. I don't really know much about it, but apparently there's a murder trial with, involving Tupac. That's going on. Nolan Wells is we're still waiting for the autopsy and the grand jury stuff with that. All kinds of stuff, but it's like never ending. We're still waiting to hear. I mean, and obviously with Idaho 4, we're waiting to hear, is Hitler going? What's his response?
Right. And then I just found out Christy was on Dr. Phil's show again. The media fucking tour. The media tour on this case is nuts, and it's all about getting ahead of the PCR. So now we're redoubling the efforts to get out there and tell everybody again, the second time around, taint America before anybody gets to hear anything. So you already know what happened.
Yep.
Here we go, round 2, and they're all over. Every single news channel is covering why Brian Kohberger is guilty and why it's a joke for him to file it, and it shouldn't be taken seriously. So we can shut it down before it gets started. Round 2 of this bullshit.
Yep.
The first time around, we didn't learn anything, and now we're doing it again.
Yeah.
So so I've got some, like I said, I've got some breaking news to share. I don't even think my team knew about it when I came on tonight. I just checked my mail. I won't say the user's name who sent it to me because the email came in with a first name, last name, and so it's not a username. So I don't know what username they use, and I'm not going to out somebody's personal identity. So if you wanted me to say who it was so you can get credit, I'm sorry. I'm going to err on the side of your privacy and not share your name on camera, who I got it from. But thank you very much for that email. And it was more than one person that sent me the story, but I want to give credit to the first person that gave it to me. And I can't tell you exactly who it is. And I saw.
This is also sad. This is also very sad. I have always been a big fan of, which I'm sure many of you, or whether you're older or younger than me, I've always been a fan kind of like superhero type stuff. I love the Marvel movie, even though it's like, how many, different stories and how can they make it interesting, but they find a way. I mean, I saw the new Spider-Man movie recently. It's actually has a pretty good story, believe it or not. It's like 2.5 hours. It's pretty good.
I love Spider-Man.
If you like Spider-Man and you like superheroes, it's not just, yes, there's action, but it's not just an action movie.
So wait a minute. So I'm not a superhero fan, but if you were to guess, who do you think my favorite superhero is?
The Dark Knight. I don't know.
Yeah, Batman.
Yeah.
Okay, well,
Batman is it.
Yeah. So why I went off on a tangent on that. So, I believe it was the early 2000s, maybe 2004, I don't know, something like that, around there. Hayden, was a main actress on the show Heroes, which has nothing to do with Marvel or DC or anything, but it was all these different people that had special, like different abilities and different things. And she was in many things. But what I would say, I don't know how many people know much about her, but just as like a little side tangent before I do my intro, I just would like to say, we don't have the official word on what I heard today. It happened yesterday, and unfortunately, her birthday was actually going to be on Friday. She was going to be 37. She just had a book that came out. I did not read it, but a book came out, I believe, in May, and she was talking about all kinds of stuff, things that went on. I believe she had some kind of sexual assault that happened to her when she was like 17 or 18. She describes on a yacht, and she wouldn't name the person because she said it would have messed up her career and all this other stuff. And she's also dealing with postmortem stress and all kinds of alcoholism. And she actually, although people would attack her, she gave up the rights to her child because she didn't feel she was able. She wasn't forced. It wasn't taken away by force. She willingly gave up the rights because she didn't feel she was able to take care of her child, which I believe was born in 2014 or 2016, something like that. So just wanted to mention that, there are avenues and there are things out there. Like I said, we don't have the official word, but what I was hearing today is that it does sound like she overdosed, which is horrible. She was only 36 years old. There are many, many outlets out there. And yes, I actually said it wrong. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Postpartum. I don't know why I said postmortem.
Postmortem stress.
I meant
that's
what
stress.
I meant.
Like,
I've
already died, and I'm
yes. I meant postpartum. Yes, and I know many.
Yeah. We knew.
I know many. It's a big thing, and I know many women do suffer from that. It is a thing. So I just, for whoever it is, if you guys need someone to talk to or email or reach out, please do. Especially even some of you come here every night. We try to lead you to the right direction. I could tell you, like, everyone on the show, Robin as well, Lee would never. No one here would ever turn away from trying to help someone, or at least lead you to try to the right direction. So.
And if you don't feel comfortable talking to anyone in your life, or including one of us, you can always dial 988. That is a crisis hotline number. There are people, experienced people who are ready and willing to help you through any situation that that you're dealing with.
Right. All right. Well, it's a very sad moment, and I don't know enough about the conditions to know whether it's an accident or a bad heart or whatever. But we'll look into it a little bit in the future. But for now, I got breaking news I want to get to. So let's get the monologue done, and then we're going to share some breaking news. All right. And go into it.
So I have a good monologue, and it's not 37 pages. Don't worry. Is it good to be alive in the den on a Monday night?
Oh, yeah.
Jackson, Juliana, and my beautiful wife. Love you guys always. When the sun goes down, the truth does not disappear. It changes shape. It settles into quiet streets, passing headlights, half-remembered timelines, and the ordinary movements of people who had no idea their routines would soon be examined under the cold light of an investigation. Tonight, on Crimes After Dark, we return to Moscow, Idaho, and to the investigation surrounding the murders of 4 University of Idaho students. This time, we are looking closely at the interviews that helped investigators build the landscape around that night. One of those interviews is with David Janssen. David was not brought in because investigators were presenting him as an answer to the case. He was brought in because his vehicle had appeared on cameras in the area during the broader time frame detectives were carefully reconstructing. Their job was simple in theory and painstaking in practice. Identify every car, every person, every movement that might help them understand what belonged in the neighborhood that night and what did not. And David's interview reflects that process. It is a less dramatic interrogation than a careful threading together of a timeline. Investigators ask about his evening, where he had been, when he returned home, what he remembered seeing, and what the neighborhood was normally like. David walks them through the mundane details of his night and morning, the kind of details that seem meaningless until a violent crime transforms them into points on a map. What makes his interview compelling is not one explosive revelation, it is the atmosphere around it. David lived close enough to the King Road area to understand its rhythm. He described a neighborhood that was usually alive with college traffic, parties, noise, people coming and going. In his experience, the area had a familiar pulse, especially on weekends. Then, after the murders, that pulse seemed to vanish. The same streets he knew as busy and social suddenly felt unnaturally still. That contrast hangs over the interview like fog. Because when detectives are reconstructing a night, they are not only searching for what was strange, they are first trying to understand what was normal. Which cars belong there? Which people belong there? Which routes were routine? Which sounds would have blended into the background? And which details, only in hindsight, might deserve a second look? David's interview offers a glimpse into that methodical work: a neighbor, a vehicle, a timeline, a familiar street. Nothing theatrical on the surface, yet each piece becomes part of a much larger mosaic investigators were still assembling. It is a reminder that major cases are often built from very small things: a camera catching a car, a person remembering when they came home, a quiet Sunday morning, a neighborhood that suddenly does not feel like itself anymore. And in this episode, we let David tell the story in his own words. Then there's Ava Wood, whose interview moves in an entirely different direction, where David helps investigators understand the geography and rhythm surrounding the crime scene. Ava helps them understand the people at the center of it. Detectives spoke with Ava because of her close relationships with Kaylee Gonzalez and Xana Kernodle. They explained they were conducting what investigators call victimology, trying to understand the victims beyond the headlines, their personalities, friendships, routines, relationships, work, social lives, and the people who move through their world. Through Ava's memories, Kaylee and Xana emerge not as names frozen inside a tragedy, but as young women still deeply rooted in ordinary life. Friends, plans, school, relationships, jobs, inside jokes, future dreams. Ava remembers moments of happiness, frustration, loyalty, affection, and the everyday chaos of being young and trying to figure out what comes next. And then she describes a Sunday when all of that normalcy cracked open. Sirens, people gathering outside, blankets pulled around shoulders, police tape rising around a house that only hours before had simply been someone's home. Ava told investigators that she went outside before the scene was fully secured, not looking for answers, but trying to comfort the people around her as the weight of what had happened slowly began to settle in. 2 interviews, 2 very different perspectives. One looks outward toward the roads, vehicles, timelines, and familiar patterns surrounding King Road. The other looks inward toward friendship, personality, memory, and the lives that existed before the world knew their names. Neither interview gives us the entire picture. They were never meant to. They are fragments, small lanterns held up against a very large darkness. And tonight we're going to listen to what those fragments reveal. Not rumors, not internet mythology, the voices themselves, the questions investigators asked, the memories witnesses carried with them, and the details that piece by piece help shape one of the most closely watched criminal investigations in recent memory. Listen closely, because after dark, even the most ordinary detail can leave a shadow. This is Crimes After Dark. And with that, live from New York, it's Monday night.
All right. Thank you very much. And yeah, we've got both of those interviews queued up backstage, the Janssen and the Ava Wood interviews. So we'll hopefully get to those tonight. I don't think they're terribly long. Maybe the Ava Woods one's longer.
The Ava Woods one is a bit longer. The Janssen one is short. So
we'll do the Janssen one for sure, and then we'll get as far through as we can through the Ava Wood one. But first, I want to lead out. Well, first of all, let me talk. Kathy's Indie Zone was saying in the chat that Hitler has ordered the transcript from sentencing. And if she's got the wording right, I want to comment on this. Hitler has ordered the transcript from sentencing to be produced to Mr. Kohberger with the state public defender to foot the bill, expecting a possible amended petition. So why the sentencing transcript? What was in the sentencing transcript? A lot of stuff that the witnesses or the families said and whatever. There's a lot of stuff. So I'm not sure if what Kohberger's hunting for is the exact wording of the plea, because that was a plea deal. That wasn't the sentencing, or if it was all the families that came and all the things that were said for the podium. Was something said in the courtroom that also changed the story? I'm really curious about that.
Yeah.
If he's going after the sentencing, that includes all the victim impact statements. It includes a lot of the flowery language that Hitler said, a lot of the flowery language that Bill Thompson said, and everybody said a lot of things. And so was there something said there that maybe we missed? I almost feel like we should take an episode sometime and go through the sentencing one more time on camera and take a look to see what kind of things might be being hunted for. But that's a little longer project, so we'll give that some thought. But let me start with some breaking news. Breaking news out of Pennsylvania. This happened today. There's so much in that. Listen carefully. Let me give you the gist of it. Not 4. I think it was 12 maybe. But frat brothers who have been charged with running a cocaine ring at Penn State. It's been an ongoing national research into drugs across the country being trafficked at universities, including through the fraternities. And it's a problem, they said, that hits every place in America. Every university has this problem, drug trafficking, and it starts here in Pennsylvania. Wait till you hear about Sigma Chi trafficking drugs, the problems we have, and using CIs to make controlled buys so they can try to bust the drug ring, which leads us all to the question. Was anybody in that house working as a CI to help law enforcement in the multi-jurisdictional drug task force we know was operating in the area to stop the cocaine running through and again, how many interviews have we watched now where they wanted to completely remove all the talk about who the cocaine dealers were, who was driving the cars at the cocaine dealers, who was doing drugs? All of that didn't make it into the report because they don't want anybody knowing about the drug problem. So let's look at the breaking news, and I'm going to put this on screen. Hold on. And there's so much to unpack. I don't know whether to stop and comment as it happens or wait to the end. Well, we probably should break it up a little bit so we don't get busted for just playing somebody's stuff without. But so let me add this to stage. Oh, of course, we got to remove things from stage. This fucking problem. All right. All right. Hopefully, you're going to be able to hear this. I'm going to remove the text over people's screens there. I'll remove the parental advisory. You know by now, if you're listening to my show, you don't have children around. Okay. Let me know when I hit play if you don't hear the sound.
And just because you're at college, you're making money, and this is something you can get away with, it's not.
But first, a stern message for college students from the state's attorney general about selling and abusing drugs after a big bust of a cocaine operation at Penn State. Good evening, everyone. I'm Natasha Brown. Yuki is off tonight. State prosecutors are charging more than a dozen people with drug-related offenses, nearly all of them affiliated with fraternities. And now, new at 5 o'clock, Joe Holden is live in the newsroom with all the details. Joe.
Well, Natasha,
not surprised.
Okay.
Yeah. Wow. And we're going to talk about about this. This has been going on for a while. Trust me, when they say that they're going to talk about an arrest in 2024, but the investigations into the drug rings across the country and the fraternities have been going on for a while, including the multi-jurisdictional task force in Idaho. It's happening on all campuses, cocaine running through the colleges. So all the people who think this makes less sense than a random incel who can't get laid, listen up, listen carefully.
Cocaine dealing business was no small operation. According to prosecutors, it was organized and had a hierarchy. Tonight, the Attorney General's office with a warning for parents and college-bound students saying there is no free pass when away at college to sell drugs, make money, and do whatever you want. Investigators say this case started 2 years ago in September of 2024. Members of Delta, Epsilon, and Sigma Chi were moving large quantities of cocaine, according to a grand jury report released today. It's alleged pledges were helping to package the drugs. Investigators singled out Thomas Robinson and Agostino Apatello as leaders of the illegal operation. They face conspiracy and manufacturing charges. Police say confidential informants were used to make a half dozen controlled purchases in the fall of 2024.
Confidential informants being used to make controlled purchases to college students, undercover or confidential informants that are basically trying to catch the drug trade. Did that happen in Moscow, Idaho? Were there confidential informants? Did police know that drugs were being bought and sold out of the house? There was a lot of question about the drugs and who was running the drugs, who was the cocaine dealer, what's his name? We did an interview where someone said everybody knows all the cocaine comes through what was it Mason Bangman?
Yeah.
You're like trying to get the name too.
I know.
They said all
Mason Bangman.
Yeah, everybody knows who the cocaine dealer was for the kids there in the local school. But it's not just him. It goes up from there. This is a national problem all across the country. So listen up.
Yeah.
Some purchases were arranged through Snapchat. Those are
Snapchat. Using Snapchat to make arrangements to buy drugs and cocaine. What are all the kids there doing? They're using Snapchat.
Yeah, because it'll disappear.
Yeah.
And along with that, I'd love to know. I mean, I don't know. I would think it cost a bit more than this amount. But the thing I saw someone. I think actually, Karmic Revolution actually did something like a day or so ago, showing something about like the $6. That's like the weird. Like, there's a bunch of people who keep sent. They were sent $6. Like, what is it about $6?
Right.
Yeah, it's weird.
Yeah.
All right, let's continue this news article.
The organization referred to each other as business partners. They allegedly had a commission system and would break down large quantities of cocaine into half-gram bags, according to police. Wow. Here's Attorney General Dave Sunday with a message for parents.
With regard to parents that might be watching this and thinking about what's happening at the school, I just want to say this. There is no city, county, community that exists that doesn't have to deal with issues such as drug use, drug dealing, addiction, and things of that nature.
So stop right there. They're admitting there isn't a university or town in this country that isn't dealing with drugs running through the frats and the universities. So, and it's funny because they're trying to say, hey, don't worry about sending your kids to Penn State. This is happening everywhere. So there's no other place you can send your kids to avoid drug trafficking because it's happening across the country. That's the sick, twisted message. Hey, in case you're thinking of pulling all your kids out of Pennsylvania, don't do that because the drug problem is all over the entire country and runs through every frat and every. There's not a city or university that's not dealing with drugs running through the fraternities. So no matter where you send your kids, you're going to have to deal with drug dealers on campus. So there you go.
This is something that occurs all throughout our country and all throughout the world. And that being said, we take it very, very seriously, which is why we conducted this investigation, which is why we filed the charges we filed. And I will say that not only have we filed these charges, but I promise you that we will be watching.
Penn State, in a statement, said they were horrified by the allegations, quote, criminal activity, including hazing, such as this has no place at our institution, they wrote, and we will cooperate with law enforcement in any way we can. Delta Epsilon has been placed on an interim suspension while the university conducts a review. Sigma Chi is not recognized by Penn State and operates outside the university's support and oversight. Most of the 14 named in the grand jury report were arraigned earlier today.
So there you go. And so what does it mean? Wow. What does it mean? Well, all the things that we've been saying is not crazy lunatic conspiracy theory. The DA in Pennsylvania is telling you this is happening in every city, every university across the country, across the world. drug trafficking, cocaine trafficking, using the fraternities to move drugs is happening everywhere.
Right.
And then to break down on that and to catch it, we are placing CIs in the frats, which is why, in my little monologue here, which is why the University of Idaho has a contract with NPD to embed police officers in all the fraternities and sororities to find a person who will talk to them about drugs moving through the frats or sororities, sexual abuse running through there. So every fraternity and sorority has an appointed person and a cop that goes with them to talk about drugs moving through there. Do you think that if a drug operation worth tons of money is going on and they find out that somebody in a sorority is dealing with the cops and telling them about drug money, that's just going to go undealt with? That they're not going to deal with that shit?
Right.
Think it through.
And I tell you, the two, it doesn't mean that she is the CI, but from my experience and what I have seen, no, I don't work on a drug task force, but I know a lot of what goes on, obviously, in my jurisdiction, in my department, and what they do. I would bet money. I would tell you right now, I don't know necessarily that Kaylee was a CI or that she was dealing drugs or any of that, but I would bet money that it's either she was the CI or she has some kind of contact with a CI or undercover that's on her phone, and that's why they will not release her phone. They're not going to hide her phone because Rosendahl was seeing her out, like had a relationship with her or some, not like that. I just don't see it.
Yeah,
but they would hide it if there was a bigger investigation going on, and whether you want to believe that she was the CI or not, she may have had that's why I keep saying that she could have had contact with a CI, and they don't want anyone knowing anything with the identity that has anything to do with that. So, it's a very, very, very strong chance, and we'll never see that info. We'll never see it.
All right. What I want to do real quick, we're going to get into the David Jansen interview from 12/14 and then the Ava Wood one, which actually is, I think, before it, but it's longer.
Kathy. I didn't even
realize. Yeah, Kathy. Welcome, by
Kathy.
the way. I almost forgot to put her on.
100%.
How are you doing?
Just said 100%. My goodness. And of all states, it would have to be Pennsylvania, huh?
Yes, right?
Yeah, I know.
And
I'm not surprised.
There's an extortion case out of Pennsylvania that we don't know anything about. And when I tried to do a public records request from the FBI, they told me, sorry, it's not our job to tell you about public records. Like, because I worded it wrong. I made them have to actually make some kind of conclusion, and their job isn't to make a conclusion. So the whole thing was rejected. So I'm going to try to refile it where I'm not asking, I'm just saying, here's the report you guys have, give it to me. That's the way that they want it. I'm not going to ask them to speculate about it or give opinions about how it happened. Just like, here's the report number. I know. I want that. Give me that. So we'll see what happens with that. Tell us real quick before we get into this interview, Kathy, about this Hitler's agreement to give the transcript to the sentencing.
Yes, very. I see this as very good news. We've been watching the docket as a hawk ever since we saw that Mr. Kohberger was filing for post-conviction relief. His attorney on the 7th of August filed a motion for the transcript. I was listening with very much intent at what you said, Lee, because I thought to myself, no, why aren't they asking for change of plea sentencing?
Correct, right.
Judge must have heard or thought, because we do have the recording that's readily available, that there was something out of sentencing that occurred. So Mr. Kohberger did, through counsel, file that motion for the sentencing, a transcript on the 7th of August. And we kept reporting, where's the order? Where's the order? Because he needs that transcript to drop into the amended petition is what we're concluding here. Hitler signed the order, and he is ordering that the transcript from proceeding be turned over to Mr. Kohberger. Now, we don't know if it's already been memorialized to writing or if the court reporter has to go back now and do it. That's one question. But he's also said that the public defender's office is going to foot the bill. This will be likely thousands upon thousands of dollars. So we're starting to see that there will be very large bill to the state with respect to this post-conviction relief action, as it should be, in my opinion, because the Idaho versus Kohberger case should have never been as sealed as it was to the public. Hopefully this one will not so much.
Yeah.
So for those who want to know,
Right.
what are your opinions? So some people are going to want to know, is this any kind of sign that we can read about Hitler with the fact that he's allowing this, that he's actually granting that motion and saying, yeah, cough it up, and yeah, the state has to pay? Is it showing any kind of good faith on behalf of Hitler, or is it just the bare minimum he has to do because it would look really, really bad on him if he just said, fuck you, you can't get anything? Just like I said from the first, like, is he compelled to do so because that's the only way to not look like a biased judge? Or do you think it's actually some kind of tipping thing that he thinks that Kohberger has something and he wants to hear it out?
In my opinion, both, because I think that he is cognizant of the fact that if Mr. Kohberger does not get a trial or doesn't get a remedy here, that there are other options, that he can then go to the appellate court and then ultimately to federal court. So I think he's being very careful in his rulings. He doesn't want, like, if he said, oh, no, you can't have the transcript, that might be a point for the appellate court or in federal court to say, Hitler, you dropped the ball. On the other hand, he came back really quickly with the order for Mr. Kohberger to have to have counsel, which he's not required. Right. Mr. Kohberger does not have a right to counsel in a post-conviction action. So he did do that. And he also, I have to say, I don't know why it took 6 days for this order to hit the transcript, but Hitler also signed it rather quickly. He signed it on the 11th of August. And here I am. Hitler is like dragging his feet. No. It didn't hit the docket until today.
Right. Yeah, it's interesting.
It's very interesting.
Yeah.
I have a hunch that Hitler himself is very curious about some things. I think he really was, in a lot of ways, looking forward to a trial. And I don't mean that in a macabre kind of way. I think that he had questions in his own mind about certain things. And really did seem invested in a trial.
Right. Yeah, and I'll tell you something on top of that, to add to that. I think a big thing that we don't know, I know we've been speculating like what is going on with it. The leak investigation has a big thing, has a big effect on this. Because let's say, I know they're doing their the criminal part, but apparently the administrative part is already done. So does Hitler know? Does he not? Like, just put that in perspective. Yeah. Maybe I'm not saying that this is the case, but let's say the leak did come from the defense, and Hitler knows that. He knows that there is big issues now. Yeah. Would that make him? Would that kind of change the scales a bit? Maybe to his thinking. And I watch body language and I look for cues, and I felt that Hitler was blindsided by the plea deal and was a little pissed off. He reminded people that, hey, this wasn't on me. I was fully prepared to take this to trial. I was ready to rule on it. They came up with this decision last minute, and I think it irritated him. I think, like you said, I think Hitler was curious to see how this was going to play out in court, and then he got a little pissed off. I think when the back deal plea deal was made, he did,
and again he could have denied it. The judge could have said, "I'm not accepting a plea at this point. We're prepared to go to trial and going to trial." He could have done that, but he did, especially after Mr. Santa Claus said that they can't place BK at the house. Like, you would almost think like, being the judge, you'd be like, what do you mean you can't place him in the house? Yeah. I thought that I thought that was going to be the transcript that BK wanted to go after. Was the one where he says, Your Honor, I can't place Brian Kohberger at the house. I was like, that's the transcript you want, but he's going after the sentencing one, which is after that speech. So it makes you wonder a little.
Also, BK, he might not have intended to commit all 4 of these unalivings. I was like, well, what the heck did you do charging him with first degree? You have to show intent. Yeah. We're looking at maybe felony or second or something like that.
Second degree, right.
Was that all? Did Santa Claus say anything to that? To what Juan was referring to? Count 1, the burglary count with intent to commit a felony, and then counts 2, 3, 4, and 5, that there weren't premeditation in at least 1 or 2 or maybe 3 of them. Did he say anything?
Right.
At the change of plea. It might be interestingly to look at both of them at some point.
We have to go back.
Because, as far as I'm concerned right now. And so important. And I just wish that mainstream media would pick up on the facts.
They won't, though. No. It seems clear mainstream media is going to double down with putting the Gonzalez's on TV, every single channel, to tell their story about why Brian Kohberger is guilty.
Right. It's the Steve G and Christie tour.
They're controlling the entire narrative. Just the two of them. The entire narrative is they're going on TV and telling everybody new details, which Steve's already admitted he lies about sometimes to mislead people. So,
yeah.
Didn't Hitler want a statement from BK as to why he did it? I don't know that Hitler.
He could have asked.
He could have asked.
He could have asked, but I don't think it's mandatory in Idaho.
No, it's not.
What he asked. So what I remember, I was there. Remember, remember Hitler saying was, "Would you like?" This is what I remember. And think about this for a minute. After everybody gave their stories about what a piece of shit he is, and said, we hope you rot in hell and all that stuff, and you're going to get Big D in prison, and I can't wait to see it, and blah, 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 and all those horrible things they said. Hitler asked Brian Kohberger if he would like to say anything in response. And Kohberger's response was, "I respectfully decline." Why would you be respectful? You just killed everybody's kids, right? So why be respectful? He said, "I respectfully decline." Because again, I feel it was a formality for him. He was just doing a formality in the courtroom. I have to say I did these things, and I'll hold my peace until the appeal, or I'll hold my peace until the PCR. I'll hold my appeal till we put our things together. I'm going to respectfully hold off on any comments right now because it's not over. If Kohberger thought it was over, just get up and fucking blab whatever you want because you get your chance in the sun. You can do it. They gave it the chance. Would you like to say anything? He could have, but he knew it wasn't over, so he said, "I'm going to hold my peace because there's more coming."
Right.
So
I just thought you were in the courtroom. That's right. What was the atmosphere as circus-like at certain points that it seemed to look like from those of us that were watching from home, in terms of the cheering, in terms of the clapping, in terms of one person declaring that he was a child M, something. Right. What prisoner wants to be called and deemed Juan in jail? Prison isn't that what other prisoners hate? I don't recall indictment any charges for him being a C. Doesn't Hitler stand up and say, "Oh, wait a second here," or his attorney object? Would that possibly sending him off to prison now with the tag of him being a child M on top of everything else?
Right. Yeah. Right.
I mean, I feel like I've watched enough courtrooms where they tend to try to give the families a little latitude to express their anger, and that's not always pretty. So some of that I just chalk up to he's allowing them a little latitude. But yeah, when the clapping happened, and it wasn't ruckus, I will say that. I mean, it wasn't like a ruckus outburst and everybody cheered and screamed and hooped and hollered, which would have required, in my opinion, the judge to bring order to the courtroom and say, "Knock it off," kind of thing. But it was just some relatively mild clapping and support for Olivia doing the whole shitting all over him, and then, but it wasn't. I don't think it was over the top, and so I think it just kind of was allowed to kind of be a moment. Yeah. But anyways, I don't want to take too much time with the pre stuff. Let's get into the interview, but I want to do a test with you real quick. I'm going to play this audio for a moment or two. One way, it's loaded backstage and StreamYard, and then I'm going to do it as a screen share with volume, because one of the things we've been told a lot lately is people can't hear the audio. Can you turn it up? Can you turn it up? And it's full volume. I have a feeling that it's the way that we're presenting the audio. So I'm going to test it, and you guys tell me if the volume is the same. So we're going to just put this on screen real quick. Do you guys hear this?
Excellent.
Yeah.
As I said earlier, my name is Gideon Roberts.
It's plenty loud too.
It's plenty loud?
Nice loud.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's nice and loud.
Fine.
Yeah.
Oh, and sorry, because that's the one that's sharing my screen. Is that right? No, that's not the one that's sharing my screen. So I'm just curious if I do it this way with the screen share and audio turned on, if the volume's any different. So if that's plenty loud, we probably don't have a problem. But remove this, add this. Same clip. Just see what the volume sounds like.
Excellent. As I said earlier, my name is Gideon Roberts.
That's the same.
It sounds the same to you?
Sounds the same to me.
All right, so that's not the problem. So, anyways, well, thank you for participating in this armchair.
Please.
All right, let's go ahead and listen to Jansen. Is David Jansen's interview on 12/14/2022, and see what we find.
Did you hit play?
Yeah. I don't hear anything.
You don't hear anything?
No,
I don't think it's playing.
No, it's
Well,
not
that's
playing.
that's dumb because I'm playing the one that was on my TV screen and not this one. Okay, hold on.
Partner, Ryan O'Hara, also detective with the state police. So, appreciate you coming down. The reason that we want to talk with you is obviously we're both involved with the investigation regarding the homicide here. So, of course, as we've been going through a lot of the digital evidence, a lot of the video, your vehicle, or what we believe to be your vehicle, was caught on a couple cameras around that time frame. So, of course, as we work this, not only are we focusing on identifying what we believe to be someone or somehow involved, but any other vehicle that we see at any time surrounding there, we want to be able to identify and then just make sure we know who this was and mark it off. Cover our bases.
Yeah, totally. That makes sense.
So, the evening of the 12th, early morning of the 13th. Can you give me just a breakdown of your activities and your timeline?
Yeah, would have been, let's see, because it was Sunday when everything kind of took place. So it was the evening before, late. I was out with some buddies. We had basically went bar hopping that night, just for fun, like we do. And then we stayed out until the bars closed at until about whatever, I think it's 2:30, 2 o'clock is closing time. And then I walked with my buddy back to his place, which is over near so we walked from about, and then I drove home after I sobered up a bit. And I rolled up my driveway, would have been close to 3 o'clock in the morning, I would imagine. And then slept, and then got up that morning, and I took my trash down to the street right there at the end of that road there where that big dumpster is. Took my trash there, went back, had breakfast in my apartment, and then I left to go do groceries and laundry and stuff around, I want to say about 10:30 that morning. And then I stayed out there, and that's when I actually got the text message from my buddy Dave that something had happened. He got the Vandal alert because he's on campus. And he had said, hey man, I got a Vandal alert. There's been a murder on your street. And I was on my way in from doing laundry. That's when the cops and everybody was there around 12:30, 1 o'clock, whatever time that was. But yeah, that was, where I was and stuff that evening prior, and then in the morning time too.
So,
what were you laughing about, Robin?
The fact that he said it was around 10:30 or so when he got
the Vandal alert. Right. I think the Vandal alert didn't go out till 1:30, I thought, in the afternoon or something like that.
Well, that's what I thought, that it hadn't gone out, until later. But he said his buddy. It sounded like he was going to say Dave. I'm not sure if that's who he's going to say or not. Let him know what was going on, and that was before 11 a.m. apparently.
And see, and that's
the difference.
And that's the problem. If a Vandal alert went out, but you also got told by friends ahead of time, do you even unintentionally conflate the two and I must have heard about it from the Vandal alert at 10. Well, maybe you did hear about it at 10, but it wasn't the Vandal alert. Could have been, maybe that was my buddy Dave that said that or whatever. It's easy for you to misremember how you found out about it, or even misremember when you found out about it. So he could be wrong about the time, but he also could be wrong about how he found out about it.
Right, but supposedly the official story is that Dylan didn't wake up till almost noon,
right,
and then called 911.
Right. Which I feel like we know is bullshit at this point, but
just to back up a little bit. So I just want to confirm your address. What is your
my address is.
All right, and what view?
By the way, do we know who we got these interviews from? Who posted them originally? Can you, Connor, for sure on this one? Okay.
Yes.
Do we not know his address? Is it the Queen Apartments, or for him to be?
Is it in? Wouldn't it be nice? We've been trying to have the reports on the screen side by side. Do we not have the report?
Yeah.
We should,
no, I don't have the report.
It would be redacted if they're redacting it here.
Well, but it's often fun when we put the report up and you hear them talk for 20 minutes about cocaine and none of that makes it into the report. It's super suspicious. Anyways.
Oh yeah.
Were you driving?
So the same car I drove here today. It's a.
No, great cars.
Yeah,
I had a 86, so the same thing as the first car for me. So
yeah,
excellent. Okay. And what color is it? Excellent. Okay. And you said you were out bar hopping with some friends. What were their names again?
We can't even know what bar he was at that night.
Yeah.
Huh? Big super fucking secret.
I mean, can't you
we went
to road or say what the bar was?
Right. I mean, we know we hear Corner Club on all kinds of other videos that they don't mute. So why is the bar he went to super fucking sketchy quiet? Like we can't know about the bar he went to?
Yeah.
Why?
Maybe it's a secret vampire bar.
The redactions, the redactions themselves. I wish there was somebody that could hold people accountable for the redactions that they choose to, because they're clearly hiding shit.
Yeah, and that I thought, you know, they're supposed to tell you, like,
yeah.
So obviously can't, like, we're watching the interview, but you know, like Connor, all these people, or you know, getting this stuff. You know, it should come with a file that tells you, like, at this timestamp, you know, this is such and such is redacted for personal info or whatever, however they say.
Or the minimum when you if you give a video, you can just put it on the screen redacted because of what code.
Right.
Like we did with the Kopaka stuff. We had tons of stuff that told you on screen what the reason for the redaction was. It's still over redacted, but anyways.
I'm trying to retract the night now. We've talked about all of this and how peculiar this is because we were in that main street. We might have walked by those kids or whatever too. But me and my buddy Dave, we had a drink at we walked over to Mills, and that's where we shot pool and stuff most of the evening. That's where my buddy Kyle met us.
I'm trying to remember the name. There's a bar right by the Corner Club that has 1 million pool tables, and you know that doesn't mean that it's the only place that has pool tables, but Mingles, that's what it was. It was Mingles. Mingles is a full of. I think that's what he was saying. I think I even heard the M sound come out. That he
Mingles or singles?
Mingles, I think. Yeah.
Okay, so he's pretty much establishing that he lives near the King Road house, although we won't know, which we don't know where. He's establishing he was downtown on Main. He's saying here, I may have walked past them.
Yep. So he was down on the street with the Corner Club, the Grub Truck, and Mingles, and the other little bars down there. And somebody else said Pringles. No, it's not Pringles. I'm pretty sure it's not Pringles, but it is very tasty. But no, I'm pretty sure it's Mingles. All right, let's keep going.
We stayed there for quite a while, and then we decided to walk down to just to kind of close the night.
Sure. Okay. I'm sorry.
Yeah. What's up, Robin?
I just want to warn people. We seem to have an unusual amount of trolls tonight. You may be used to other chats allowing you to cause havoc and ruckus, but we don't do that here. So if you're just looking to stir the pot and whatever, you might as well go stir somebody else's chat up because we don't do that here. So we're kind of having a good time in a way. So, but you know, we don't do that here. We're here to listen to these interviews, to give commentary, and our chat is full of intelligent people who like to actually discuss the case. So just telling you, if you're here just to be an asshole, just go do that somewhere else, or else you'll be moved along. So
yeah. Yep.
Last name again.
And if you guys need their numbers or anything, I can give those to you.
If you have those, that'd be awesome. We start with Dave.
Yep. Let me look this up here.
Sure.
Awesome.
And there's one that's banned. Do not be disrespectful to the mods or to anyone on the panel.
Here, well, you know, if you're upset because it appears that Mr. Kohberger has possibly a very good chance at getting post-conviction relief, I suggest that you write to your congressmen and women and get the law changed. you know, this going into chats where people are trying to intelligently discuss not just the Kohberger case, but the Constitution, due process.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Right. You know what? Write to your congressman and say, I want this country to operate like communist Russia. I don't want due process. I don't want.
Yep. Well said. Yep. All right. Now, when I hit pause to let Kathy, I was doing that because even though we were in the middle of a redaction and nothing was going over, I was afraid it was going to kick back on when she was talking. So when I hit play, it's still going to be silent because we're in the middle of a redaction. So I'm going to hit play now, and it's still probably going to. So I'm playing now, and it's still redacted. So we're going to continue on.
He's wearing that nice Metallica shirt. We should be able to hear some music.
Yes, it's still playing.
It's riveting.
Oh, real quick, I see Yah News Network. So somebody sent me a clip, Sarge, and I saw that they sent me a clip, and I think it was Amanda sent me the clip, and it said, "This is for Lee Devil's Advocates," and you started to explain something. I started to listen to it because you called me out specifically, and then something happened, and like I clicked off. I lost the video. I went to play it again, and it started from the beginning, and I don't know how far into it was, but I ended up getting spun into my own asshole trying to find that again. So I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
I want to see that.
So I lost it. I did try to listen to it. I appreciate you giving me hey, this is for Lee, listen to this part, and I tried, but I got myself all spun up. So all right, let's keep going.
I'm going to use that in a book.
I've got a lot of little sayings. We're playing.
Yeah. Maybe a silly question. Sure. But it was simplify my life. Just for talking with these guys. Do you know, are they both residents here in Idaho?
Yeah, as far as I know.
This is
excellent. All right, that just helps me when I go to verify. I can look at the driver's license.
Totally.
It's super easy. If it's
yeah, Amanda, I probably have the link. If the link goes directly to the.
I guess I would be remiss if I didn't ask, obviously, or the obvious questions. Did you know any of the victims? Okay. Were any of them in any of your classes?
No.
Okay.
No.
Yeah.
I mean, it's one of those things too. When I saw their photos and stuff, you know, obviously my heart goes out to everybody. I don't know how many students I've had over the years. I don't remember them being in the class of mine or anything.
Ugh. So it looks like Yah News Network is saying that dog urine. That I don't know if that was what you were trying to point out to me in the video that I missed, but you were saying dog urine is most likely footprint protein and enzyme in the common area. That's interesting. Yeah, because did we know if Murphy ever peed in the house? Was he? I mean, I suppose if he was locked up for a long period of time and they didn't let him out, he would pee, right? Because they'd take him out to pee every once in a while. But maybe he had accidents in the house. Interesting. All right, let's keep going.
Okay. All right. Did you? Well, you said you didn't know him. You hadn't spent any time with him outside of the classroom or anything like that. Any personal life?
Yeah.
Okay.
Never ran into him on the street or anything.
No, I mean, there's the one thing I remember talking to the investigative reporter from the Idaho Statesman like last week or so, and he was wondering about like if I'd ever seen them around in that area back there.
We're getting on a side tangent, but he's like, Yah says, yeah, they had dog pads on the arms of the couch, which might indicate if they had potty pads or something like that that they knew we had accidents. Super interesting. We'll have to talk about that later when we get maybe between this one and the next interview. We can have a little talk about that.
Yeah.
I was telling him the same thing, is that there's so many students and stuff when it's a normal like warm weather semester. I mean, it's possible I could have drove by and they were out somewhere one time or something, but I just can't, recall really.
Sure.
But I never had any interactions or anything with them for sure.
Yeah. Okay. So you bring that up, so now I'm just curious. So reporters have been out canvassing or knocking on doors? Or?
Yeah, just kind of, I've noticed there's some of them are just kind of like waiting for people to park, and then they're just assuming like, oh, you live here, let me talk to you.
Sure.
But that was Kevin, I can't remember his last name, but I talked to him last week. But other than that, everybody's been pretty chill back there too, and staying off the roads and stuff, because it's getting kind of gnarly back there with the ice and stuff.
Yes, it is.
I see. I can't help it. People are talking about those pee pads, and I don't want to get off on this interview too much, but yeah, I would argue already my mind is trying to work on that and listen to this at the same time, because you're right. Pee pads would be on the floor, which could indicate that somebody moved the pee pads off the floor to do the cleanup, and that's why they're seen in the pictures on the couch, on the arms of the couch, because they would be normally on the floor. So who moved the pee pads off the floor?
And also, I will tell you that puppy pads make great cleanup
absorbent
tools.
Yes.
So
all right, I gotta get back to this interview, and then we only got like 5 minutes. Hold on,
we can do it.
5-7 minutes.
I was actually just in your apartment private calling, and that's pretty nasty, that little hill parking lot area where you guys are forced to.
I don't know what the grade is back there. That's crazy. In the winter time.
Well, and actually the one above you, where it comes to that S corner.
Forget about
it. Imagine people end up in your apartment if they're not careful.
Yeah, a couple of years ago, that's exactly. People were coming down there, and it was just too slick, and you slide until you can't go anywhere, and you just kind of go off.
Fuck! I can't get off the pee pads. Like, in a crazy world, could somebody have laid down a bunch of pee pads and walked in the pee pads and then picked up the pee pads so that their footprints and stuff like that would be picked up with the pee pads? Okay, that's crazy.
Second floor, Italy, right?
Yeah. All right. I swear to God, we got to get past this 5 minutes. We're getting derailed, but I can't help it. All right.
Oh, man. All right. Well, anything that I haven't asked that you might think is useful or we should know about?
Yeah, I don't think so. I was thinking about this just after I had got that call today, and I don't know how many of the neighbors you guys have really talked to, as far as like the Queen Road, all those apartments. Mm-hmm. But I know like the person who lives right next to me, I've never seen them before.
Okay.
But other than that, there's nothing I can really think of.
Okay.
When all of this happened, I was talking to my mom and stuff on the phone, trying to think like when I was coming up that drive, early in that morning, I didn't notice anything or see anything out of the ordinary.
Sure.
The same thing in the morning when I took my trash down the road, it was just so quiet. And I just remember seeing all the trash and stuff there, and I don't know if that had been emptied immediately after all that stuff happened, but I know that there was a report or something that the police had kind of went through trash and stuff, but I remember throwing my trash in there just going, Jesus, somebody needs to fucking pick this up, but I didn't notice anything out of the ordinary, that I normally would on a Sunday morning,
Yeah. And you have to forgive me again, when did you say you threw your trash in there?
This would have been about probably 9 a.m. or 9:30 or something like that, early when I got up.
So what time do you think you came home?
From doing like grocery shopping and stuff?
No, before that. So you said you were out at the bars and waited to
this would have been probably close to 3 o'clock in the morning.
Okay. So if I were to say that we had seen your vehicle in the area around 2:48 a.m.
That makes sense.
That'd be about right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, all right. That makes sense.
Cool. Okay.
Just out of curiosity, since you live so close, is that house typically pretty like a lot of parties?
They're usually it's very busy, that house, and then the ones that are at the end of King Road, that like little I don't know, cul-de-sac or whatever you want to call it, that one's usually just hopping with people. So that one, and then the one that was a newer build, it's kind of like adjacent to that one, that nobody's been really there since all this happened.
Okay.
And as far as I know, it's all undergrad students and stuff that live back there, but on the weekends, and I told the reporter this too, because he was wondering about the frequency of parties and stuff. I said, usually It's like stuff starts like Thursday night, and it just goes all weekend until you just don't hear nothing on Sunday because everybody's sleeping in or whatever.
Yep.
But that's in my experience. I've lived back there this is coming up on 5 that I lived back there. It's just the same.
Yeah.
Whether the students are coming in and out or if it's the same students or whatever, it's just the environment back there. That's how it's always been. And it's so weird now. It's just so quiet back there.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. But yeah, I would imagine like if anybody's telling you that those houses are like not that, it's just not the case.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You could, if I don't know how many people you guys have talked to in that apartment complex, but they probably tell you the same thing. It gets a little rowdy back there, but
yeah, we've got a little bit of a mixed message, but the majority of people kind of tend to be. I mean, it's college. What do you expect?
Yeah.
Which, I mean, that's certainly
it's part of it.
It's part of the experience. So, okay, awesome. Sure. If you don't mind me asking, what type of you said you're an artist? What type of art?
Yeah.
Is a what?
Some kind of artist or something?
That's what it sounded like. And why did they redact how long he's lived there?
Right. Yeah, I've been there 5. I mean, redacted.
Did you get the impression he was taking his trash to that bin that's right across the street from? Okay.
Excellent.
Yeah. Or the one down at the corner. There was one across the street from the King Road house, and then there was one down at the corner there at the kind of intersection of King and Queen area. But
I think he's talking about the one directly across from 1122. Is he's saying it was overflowing, and that was overflowing.
Yeah, it was
correct. Yep.
So hey, why not ask him? Did you look? Did you notice? Was the front door open? Not because it's 10 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah, right. I mean, maybe they hadn't heard that other interview. I don't know when the other guy came in and said, it seemed like that other guy came in a little late to say, hey, by the way, I've been sitting on this for a while. So maybe they didn't know to ask the question at
Justin?
the time.
Justin Nadal?
Yeah.
No, that was he came in, his thing was pretty quick.
So yeah, so if they knew that, if the investigators knew that, why not ask?
And he called too.
Yeah. Open? Yeah.
It's weird. Yeah.
That's a problem to me. I don't know.
Like they don't hear about that front door being opened at 9 o'clock.
No.
Yeah, I don't.
Well,
think
remember the interview with Justin. Like right away, they're like, "Are you sure it wasn't the back door?
Are you sure? Yeah, you sure it wasn't the back door? Are you sure it wasn't the? Yeah, exactly. Are you sure it wasn't the back door? And what was there was another one they tried to redirect on it. Wasn't it was? They
tried to say the back door, and then they tried to. They
said different day
on the day.
Are you sure it wasn't Saturday or was it Sunday?
Yeah.
Right.
And that interview, as Juan said, it was fairly quick. It was within days. This guy is December 14th, so this is like a month almost later.
So they clearly have concluded that guy was not correct, and so there was no need to ask for follow up if anybody else saw the door open.
Narratively,
yeah, doesn't fit the narrative. You're correct. Yeah, because the killer didn't go out the front door. So.
Just like hear the accent a bit. So where are you from?
So you hear it.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Okay, excellent.
Yeah, that's all my students, they comment the same thing when I start talking.
Yep.
There are certain phrases I have too. They're like, what is that? I remember I said something about like the night before Halloween one time about being like Devil's Night. And they're like, what?
Yep.
And I go, you guys don't do that? They're like, no. And I go, okay, that's good. That's good.
Yep. Yeah. Well, excellent.
Cool.
All right. Well, thank you very much for coming in. Anything that you can think of?
Sure.
Excellent. Well, like I said, that really helps us hammer this down because not only are we focused on, of course, I'm sure you've seen the news press release of that one white car.
Right.
We want to talk to those people as well.
Yeah.
But any other vehicle that we see, we want to just...
Yeah, totally. That makes sense.
We can make sure that we talk to and identify anybody with those vehicles as well. So.
Including, we need to make sure that we can account for every vehicle, even when the vehicle owner says, no, I didn't come home. Are you sure? Yeah, I'm pretty sure you did come home. No, I didn't come home. Well, if you did come home, would you have parked here? No, I never parked there. Well, we're just going to say you parked there that night. Thank you very much for your time.
Okay.
Have a nice day.
So just for a frame of reference, the Justin Nadal interview was 11/17/2020.
Oh, wow. Okay. And this is a couple weeks later.
Figure out where does this guy live? Because I'm getting the impression now by the questions that the ISP was asking him that it wasn't at the Queen Apartments, that maybe would it have been like directly across the street from 1122? That's a question I'd like to find out is where did this guy live?
Yeah. Exactly.
Excellent. Well, thank you very much for taking your time out to come talk with us.
Yeah.
Get you out of here.
If you guys need anything else, just let me know.
Excellent.
I don't live too far.
All right. We really appreciate it. Thank you. Have a good day.
All right. So if Yah News Network is still here, let's get him up on screen. So maybe he can tell us what I missed about the pee pads and all that good stuff, because that was super interesting. Sometimes when I get talking out loud, I don't think it all through. So when people are like, no, I don't think they put pee pad down to avoid their, I get it. Like it was just a riff off the top of my head. I'm like, hey, wait a minute. Pee pads would be something you could pick up afterwards and throw it away. All right. So let's put the link out there for Yah News Network. Get the link to him if he wants to come up and join us on stage.
I already did.
Okay, perfect.
Yep.
We'll wait for you to grab that link.
They are absorbent. I mean,
yeah,
you know,
they're
good for other things besides just that. So,
yeah, I could be really vulgar, and let's just put Sergeant Friday. How you doing?
I'm peeing on my bed. How are you doing?
Excellent. I hope it's a big pad so that it can take it all.
I got to somehow get around.
They make them extra large.
They do. They make them extra large. So explain. Do you want to explain to me what you were saying to me, or do you just want to riff on something else?
No, it wasn't anything bad at all. It was actually, it had to do with Whitcomb's book when you guys were struggling with chapter 4,
right?
And what he's telling us, and I think I understand what he's telling us.
Okay, yeah.
But I do want to keep you in suspense on that.
I know.
I
remember I heard enough of what you said that you were talking about Kaylee and you were talking about proof that it had to have been more than one person or more than one weapon. And I was going back to rewind it to hear like what, because you were like very definitive, like that's it. Like this proves that it has to be. And I'm like, okay, wait a minute. I go back and listen to it, and then I lost it. So
remember when he said that the scuff on the wall ends their narrative?
Yeah.
Okay. You'll notice, so I'll skip the pee pad for a moment because I am engaged in this topic with the blood very much so. There's only 3 samples outside of the room that belong to Zana and 1 to Ethan. 2 Zana, 1 Ethan. One of them is the scuff mark at shoulder height by the bathroom. One of them is on a molding in the hallway floor. Blood drop, Zana. Blood drop on the or scuff on the wall, Zana. Scuff on the stairwell. The south side of the north wall of the northern stairwell, right? So the south wall, the north wall would be the wall facing the parking lot. The outdoor wall is north. The inside of the stairwell knee wall is south. There's a scuff mark at the handrail. That's Ethan's. What you will not find in that crime scene is any mixture of blood between the 2 murder scenes. But you will see Kaylee, the major contributor, Maddie, minor contributor.
Yes.
So you were seeing a mixture of blood, cast off blood from Kaylee and Maddie. Yeah. But you're not seeing any mixture between Katie, Maddie, and the other 2 or the other 2 combined.
Good.
Correct. Good. Right. Yeah, right. Okay. I follow you. I follow you.
So the distinction here is showing you that the person or the cast off that shows the mixture of blood from upstairs is a separate and unique crime scene from the crime scene downstairs.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Do you understand?
Good point. Good. I get it. Yeah.
Now you're talking about multiple perpetrators.
Yeah.
All right. And I think that's why it kills the narrative. The other thing is when he was talking on Lana's show, the first time I've ever seen him hesitate and think about a word, something said to him, like when you say fog light, he freaks out on you. Okay.
Yeah, I know.
But Miss Potts came forward with this idea, and this is probably most likely what we're seeing. Is the cast off is from the dog. The combined cast off of Kaylee and Maddie is from the dog shaking.
Yeah.
Now that would explain it being on both the north and south of the stairwell. It would explain it in the common area and weird areas and the ceiling of the stairway going downstairs.
Yeah.
It also supports movement, and that was part of the crime. Is they ignored it as not being part of the crime, that nobody went downstairs, but.
Right.
If as Turvey pointed out, the downstairs bathroom was cleaned and the dog had been washed there and dried and gone up the stairs and shook, because even a dry dog is not dry.
Yep.
No.
Even a dry dog will shake after encountering water. Now you start looking at patterns of movement that can't be explained by the one perpetrator, whether it's Brian or not.
Right.
It
that's
supports
what we said a couple weeks ago as far as the dog goes. And also, they never tested it to say what it was diluted with. What was it? shampoo? Was it just tap water?
Right.
What was it? So
well, also know that the cast off was diluted before it hit those surfaces.
Right.
Right. And a lot of people, I say it all the time because people think the cast off dilution means they cleaned the walls or something, and they didn't. They did not wipe those individual spots. They landed as diluted blood.
Right.
And you can't explain it from the movement of a perpetrator swinging a weapon, as Whitcomb points out. So it's got to have another mechanism, or it's like magic. And you cannot get that blood all over the place like that. And I can't say enough. Miss Potts came up with this concept of the dog, and it fits what you're seeing. It involves the first floor and the staircase where they allege to have had people downstairs hiding that heard nothing. It destroys the whole narrative. And that, I think, is what Christopher Whitcomb was trying to point out. So it's not a matter of who did it. It's a matter of what these pieces of evidence are telling us that matter.
Yeah, and it's great because it's a great point, because I can imagine a scenario if Murphy's loose upstairs and someone goes and attacks Kaylee or Maddie or both of them, and Murphy comes running in there. If he's not locked up, he doesn't have the door shut, he's going to get blood on him. And then somebody at some point could have went, shit, the dog's got blood on him, picked him up, took him down to the bottom to bathroom, washed him up to make sure that they could kind of clean up the fact that he's got blood on him and stuff like that. They don't want to have that all over the house, whatever. And then he comes up, and like you said, he's washed off, but he's still going to have diluted blood. And he shakes, as all dogs do, to kind of get the excess water off, and therefore diluted cast off goes everywhere.
And much of the diluted blood was almost invisible to camera images.
Wouldn't there possibly be some diluted blood still on Murphy?
Sure. But they took him to the pound. But here, see, I'm theorizing I'm not theorizing about the diluted blood stains and the random nature in which they're assorted in that's common area. They're on the pong table. They're against the wall where there's a TV. They're at forward wall, the knee wall. They're behind that brass. They're where that brass thing is with the lights around it. Okay, they're all over the place. It's not as if somebody swung a knife and stabbed Kaylee or Maddie downstairs, because they were never downstairs.
I see people in the chat are saying about there will be dog hair everywhere, but I know from having a
that dog doesn't. It's a hypoallergenic dog.
They're not the type of dog that you're gonna have, because I know our McGee, he's a Bernedoodle, so he's not quite the same breed, but
what if the hair on the bed is the dog's hair? Because that dog's hair is more like human hair.
Yeah, but but
it's not long enough.
No.
I mean, the dog's hair is not long enough.
No, them dogs get long hair and it curls.
What I'm trying to tell you is that Murphy's hair is very curly, like a poodle.
Right.
And poodles typically do not shed like other dogs. They are.
I agree with you there. I agree with you. I think
dog. So therefore, I'm talking to the people in the chat who are saying there will be dog hair everywhere. Not really, because of the type of dog he is. Because a lot of people who are allergic to dogs and dog hair can sometimes tolerate some type of a poodle blend dog, because they are a hypoallergenic dog. So the dog's hair is not going to just fly off when they're shaking off all the water out of their coat.
But and let me add one more thing about Murphy real quick. Sorry to interrupt you. I've been sitting on this for a while. So one of the things that they're talking about, for example, is this cast off that Whitcomb and others are trying to lead you through, that the cast off doesn't make sense. The beer pong table is in the way. So therefore, how did the cast off get where it's at? But a dog is down low. A dog is shorter than the beer pong table. So if the dog shakes down below the beer pong table, it's going to explain the diluted cast off at a place where somebody swinging an object in motion couldn't have got the cast off. It was the dog. It could be. It could be. He's
talking about the table's in the way for the knee wall.
Correct. Right.
And so if you were to swing a blade, it just wouldn't. And why would it be diluted unless the blade was washed?
Right.
I might be wrong here. I'm taking what Kathy said it is brilliant that she came up with that concept. But when you look at the crime scene, it's hard to argue that isn't the mechanism. It's easier to accept that than it would be the diluted cast off in 27 different freaking places came from a perpetrator. Why would it's not cast off like in the usual sense? If I get my hand wet and I throw my hand forward, you're going to get a pattern of cast off. This is patternless cast off. These are individual diluted pieces of blood that ran down multiple random areas of the room. So that, look, there's none on the ceiling. You know what I mean? When you're swinging a blade or you're swinging anything, your hand that's wet, it's going to be a pattern of cast off. It's not going to be random drops across the whole room. Sneeze, it doesn't go across the whole freaking room. It goes directly out in front of you, right?
Right. And the pattern of the cast off could tell you about movement. Yes.
Yes. And
right.
why is that? Why is it so consistent? On when you do see the images, the pattern of cast off is diluted blood, and it's very consistent throughout that whole room, that common area. So that's that. But now let's get back to the pad. The only reason I said anything about a dog pad was because I said that it's likely that the shoe print outside of Dylan's door is a urine print from somebody that stepped in urine, not a blood print, a latent shoe print that they use amino black on for proteins and enzymes would discover a footprint that left urine behind. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yes.
And that footprint
absolutely
was another known lie in the PCA. The footprint was used to substantiate Dylan's statement. However, they found the shoe that made that print in the home. Therefore, it's not related to the crime.
Right.
At all.
Right.
Yet they did use it and get an arrest warrant for Kohberger.
Yep. Funny.
And they knew before the warrant that was not part of the crime. And if it was, how could you connect it if it's just urine, right? I mean, you got a bloody crime scene.
Hayden said in the PCA that it was supposed to establish the path, like he was walking outside. I had pictured this Vans type print to be pointing toward the back slider, but it wasn't. It's pointing to Dylan's door.
Right.
So, and it's also Vans. Kohberger does not wear Vans. He wears another type of shoe. Several people in the house, though, were known to wear Vans. We saw them come out on the 15th when they pulled out all of the belongings.
Well, not even that. The fact that they found the shoe that made the print in the property.
Well, I have to be careful about that because I would like to look at it again. If Amanda's been sending me some pictures, I'm going to show you some pictures of the pee pad here in a second for shits and giggles. But one of the things that bothered me about the shoe being Dylan's shoe was there's a pattern on her shoe that has an inside diamond, and I don't see that on the print on the floor. That's why I said I can't, and I'm not a forensics guy, but I can't definitively say it's the same shoe because there's an extra diamond inside the diamond that I don't see on the latent print.
But
so
I pulled a Moscow on you when I described the print. And as much as I said, they found the shoe in the property. I didn't say who owned it.
Right. I'm
not blaming Dylan. Right. I'm just saying that shoe print is unrelated to the crime. More specifically, it cannot be related to the movement, as Dylan suggested took place. That's the interpretation that proves the cops were putting things in the PCA that were never said, and they knew that they weren't true.
Yeah.
Right
here, by the way, is a picture real quick of the pee pad we're talking about on the arm of the chair. Do you see it behind?
Yeah, there it is
over there. That's one picture of it, and I've got one more to show you. It's the same pee pad, but here you see it over here on the side of the thing. That's the pee pad on the arm of the chair.
There were chips on that before the pee pad ended up there.
So that's I've got those as well. The chips. Hold on. Wait.
Yeah, they moved the chips and put the pee pad there. I think the cop must have been drinking a little bit.
Okay, hold on a second. Hold on. I got the chips picture too. Hold on.
Maybe he was ticked off. He lost at Pong. I don't know.
Here's the pee pad. You see the pee pad, and you got a general location. Okay, stand by. I'm going to take this off screen and pull up the chips here real quick.
And if you do have any of the latent blood markers.
I'd like to see those pictures again because the shoe print one, I was like, when I remember hearing people say it was Dylan's shoe, and I'm like, I don't think it matches.
No, a lot of people, because there's a pair of Vans in their bedroom. I don't know where they came from. I bet you they found them in that first floor bedroom where they found the bloody jacket and the
Holy shit! Hold on! Holy shit! Okay, hold on. I'm gonna piss myself. Okay.
Don't urinate. You don't got a
pee pad.
I don't have a pee pad. I don't have a pee pad.
I'm going to change my name to pee pad.
All right, hold on. So here is what we're talking about. Another crime scene photo. Let me put it on screen. That's the bag of chips.
Yeah.
So the F stains on the other side of this pong table, and you're looking this way, and there's a pee pad draped over that. Holy shit!
Please maintain that picture for a minute. Please go back to that picture. I want to show you something else that's being missed. That brass table is not located where it originally would be. Women would never, ever not center that table underneath those pictures. Not in a million years. No matter what anybody wants to
horrendous.
Look at the flowers that are centered in the table. You see that?
Yeah.
Women are very, very geometric when they put a room together. They look for okay. That table was moved, as well as the table that Whitcomb is pointing to was moved.
It's funny.
Well, we
it's
know
super
the
circumstantial, but you're right. You're right. Like
we're almost positive the table. Yeah, the table.
I'm trying to get
we don't know.
Was it possibly the sheath was moved, or is it just on the second floor? I mean, I can't believe what I'm seeing here. The pee pads moved, the chips are moved, the tables moved. Out on floor 3, what might have been moved up there?
We know that the White Claw was moved too. We don't know that it wasn't moved by the cops, so they could walk through that area between the table and the hallway.
I'm stuck on this. When is the fucking chip picture taken, and then when did it become a fucking pee pad?
Look how lit up the room is. That's another issue. Go back, because all the guilt are saying it was dark that night. And when he came around the corner from the hallway, he was blinded by the good vibe sign, these idiots. Look how lit that room is.
Right.
That's not from a flash. The flash is contributing to it, but that table is fully lit. The good vibe sign is fully lit.
Yeah.
Xander's room is fully lit.
Did the investigators turn those lights on?
No. Molly McNichol proves that house was lit because she stated from the rear parking lot, she could see where the GPS was telling her where the house was. She could see it was the sliding glass doors. There was light. She could see the light. The house was lit. And she chose to walk down the driveway when she observed a vehicle. And then she went to the front of the house. But she also says the third floor was lit when a dark-haired woman was, or a woman was looking out the window and bending down when she looked up. Molly McMichael is proof this house was fully lit.
I got so many. Hold on. Oh my God. Amanda's got so many pictures that don't fucking. Hold on.
Where were you going to go? I didn't mean to interrupt you, but I think that the whole room was moved except for the couch. And there's a TV somewhere in there too, right? Is it over by the window, the front window? Where's the TV in there?
I know that they.
It's in that little wall,
right?
Unit, kind of.
That little wall too, I think, had blood.
Lee, these are all the Idaho State photos, right? Not
yes.
Photos.
Hold on. I'm going to show it on screen. Good fucking Lord.
He's shitting himself. That poor doggy pad.
Yep.
Amanda,
I know to get you for Christmas now.
Yeah, a pee pad. I need it badly.
I need it.
Okay.
I dated a girl
hold
named
on.
Anita.
Oh my God. Okay, hold on.
We're holding.
That one. And let's go. This one. And let's go. This one. This is like the magical changing crime scene.
Oh, look at the couch. There's a sectional. It's not even connected. Look at the lights behind the couch.
Are you seeing? Oh yeah. I thought you weren't seeing these pictures. I thought it was just pre.
I hadn't seen them pictures before. I hadn't seen.
Look at this.
Pictures. Look at the doily. The chips in the doily. Look.
What the fuck?
Where's the pee pad there?
Where's
there
the
is
pee
no
pad?
pee pad.
How did the chips get up on the arm of the chair?
The pillow got replaced by a urine pad. Is that a pillow with a snowflake on it?
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
Or is that one of the students?
The couch, the sectional are pulled apart here.
Where's the snowflake?
Up
there it is. It's over.
What?
It's covered by the pee pad. Now you don't want to set your head on that pillow.
Yeah.
So it makes sense of this crime scene. When did the pee pad come into that? Where did the fucking bag of chips go?
Where's the
snowflake?
Who did the cleaning?
Where's the pee pad?
I don't know.
Yeah. Shit's all moved around.
You couldn't miss it.
And this bag of chips down here, but then later on the bag of chips is up here. Then later on there's a pee pad there instead of the bag of chips. So what, are the cops just moving shit around and photographing?
I'll tell you something else that's weird about that bag of chips. Right here it looks like there might be chips in it. When it's laying up on the arm, it looks almost like it's empty.
Well, Warner and Nunez had to eat something. What's wrong?
Fair. I get it.
Well, they weren't eating chips for the movie. They were eating chips for this crime.
See, it looks kind of flat a little bit. Well, maybe not.
Wait a minute. So now the snowflake is over on the table when it was over here. The chips have moved from the middle of the thing to the arm of the chair. The fucking
look at the cups. Go back. I don't think the cups in the can are all arranged like that when you go into different pictures. They may be, but that one cup by the doorway I think is removed.
Right here?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, well, look, I don't know why we're looking at this. Clearly,
how do you walk through an area with a backpack? Look at the backpack on the floor. How do you tell me that Zana went between those two tables? Explain that.
Well, that's from the EMS. That's from the cops. That's not.
Oh, it is.
Yeah.
That's. We know for sure she went through there before the cops showed up. So.
Right.
Yeah. Sorry,
but I think they said that. I think the official story is that she ran around this side of the table and in between this gap right here and shot the gap there, which is where Wickham says the officers have to turn their hips to get past this gap right here. And somehow in the chase, they knocked all these cups off, but didn't disturb these as they squeezed past, running down the hall to her room.
Yeah, but all the cast off in that area has nothing to do with Zana. So the argument that Zana even ran through there is bullshit. I never accepted that she ran from a knife wielding guy that was attacking her with a knife. There's no blood of Xana's in the common area. None.
Why does this pillow end up over here?
Run down the steps. Why would you run into like where you're going to be trapped? The guy's on your tail with a knife. Why steps are a choice?
Right. If she ran around that side of the table, Lee, why didn't she run out of the house?
That's right.
I mean, it makes sense that she would run towards Ethan.
Yeah,
right.
She knew Ethan.
No, it doesn't, man. You ever see a scared human being? A scared girl.
It makes sense to me. That's her.
That's
her boyfriend. Yeah. I mean, she would run out of the house, but it makes sense that she would run.
But here's to Sarge's point. Where's the cup that's in the middle of this doorway? There's no cup in the middle of the doorway.
No cup there. The pillows moved. The chips are moved, and they introduce another piece of nothing, which is a potty pad.
But and here's the problem: is some rearrangement of the crime scene necessary? As long as you take a photo of it in situ, then once it's been,
it has to be marked. You have to have a marker by it. You have to acknowledge its original existence.
Yeah,
there has to be a code with it.
You're supposed to take a picture before it's moved, before the stuff is moved. Obviously, you have to move some stuff to in different rooms.
Well, where did that cup go, Lee?
Yeah,
crazy.
And every single cup and where it's at is part of the crime scene. It tells a story, so you can't just go, "Oh, that's immaterial. I'll just move that shit out of the way." And hey, let's just move the chips. Like everything in that crime scene is material to try to recreate what happened.
And it's
unless you, of course, you believe you already know what happened.
Something on the couch. It's not like that's in your way. I mean, you could say, okay, well, thinking stupidly, maybe they would move stuff that's trying to obstruct their way in and out of a doorway. But why move stuff on the couch like the pee pad and the pillow and the chips? That makes no sense to me.
Look what Sarah Wazinski said. Why are they hiding the arm of the couch? Which could be what they're doing. I don't know that they are, but I think they're just idiots. And I think that this is exculpatory in as much as to show that anything you take out of this crime scene is undependable, except blood.
Oh yeah.
Right? Yeah, what a mess, man.
What is
this? Well, that's why
evidence. Is this evidence tags or is this something else?
Cast off. That may be cast off.
Can't get in close enough to see.
That's why it's important to go by, we're like comparing all this stuff with these pictures. You don't know how many times things were moved. You'd have to go by Nunez. Yeah, you got to go by the first responders, the people who responded first.
That table's so out of place. That brass table, that bothers me, and I'm a dude that has his own home.
Very important point, because we do have body cam from Nunez and more, as they walked up the steps to see exactly what was on that couch.
All right, somebody get the original body cam footage. Let's see what it looked like when.
That's what I'm saying. You'd have to, if you watch Nunez, you'd have to go through step by step, and so like when he walks into this room,
let's pull it up.
That would be the best.
I'm telling you, if Murphy came to the top of those stairs and shook, the associated areas with the cast off would be consistent with the dog coming to the top of the stairs, making a turn, and then shaking in the common area. It would hit the ceiling. It would probably hit both walls in the stairway. It would hit behind the TV. It's crazy, man.
I'm looking for Nunez's original body camera footage. It's posted, right?
It should be. I think
I've seen it. I think
we've become the pee pad detectives.
Yeah, I'm on it. P-pad detective.
I might rename my stream.
Ooh, I think I've got it. Hold on. Stand by.
Nunez dropped that red package.
Here we go. Here we go.
Where's the White Claw in these pictures? Where's the White Claw beer? Or whatever White Claw is.
Stand by. Stand by. We're doing it live.
Coming in live.
Coming in live. How come I don't have this on screen? Because I just got to show this. Here we go. All right. I need to share it with sound. Hold on, because there is sound to it. Stop screen share. Let's go screen share with sound. Be-doo-doo. And now let's put that on screen. All right. Let's look what the condition looks like as from what we can catch.
I'd pause it.
Bag of chips.
Yeah, and
there's the bag of chips. There's the pillow. There's the cup in the middle of the walkway. No P-pad. Where's the P-pad? Okay, let's keep going. This is off shifted. The cups. Now this looks. There is a shine. Do you see the shiny area right here?
Yeah.
Is that liquid on there?
Shiny.
Yeah.
Looks like it.
Reflection. Yeah.
And I kept this using this real, which is, and I didn't check them yet, but I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
He's gonna come back out of the. I'm gonna skip to when he comes back out.
Fuck.
Because these idiots move so many things all over the place.
Okay, now we're coming back out. Let's see.
The backpack's there. What dropped it before he even?
And there's no White Claw box.
Where's the White Claw box?
Yeah.
Where's the White Claw box?
Where's the White Claw box?
So does that? I mean, is that
that White Claw box is supposed to be on the railing according to
right,
and it's not there. But I believe the White Claw box is on the floor under that window.
I think so too.
Yeah.
But the question becomes: did the cops move the White Claw box? And is that? I'm not saying that as in staging the crime scene. I'm saying, did they have a legitimate reason to pick it up and move it? And when they photographed it, Sutton just thought, oh well, there's a White Claw box on top of the stain belonging to Ethan. But that's not the way it was when they walked in.
Where's the TV?
Good point.
Yeah, it's there. I think in that corner unit.
In that corner, that little tiny box there.
Shop there, Sergeant Friday. Looked at down the.
Yeah.
That tiny little TV. That's what they were watching.
Yeah,
that right
there.
That's
so. The Vampire Diaries.
You could buy them that small.
Never looked so good.
My cell phone's that big.
I watch porn on bigger screens than that. Right,
Wait a
minute. That is the White Claw box.
What is?
This right here, isn't it?
No, that's the end of the
We
ring.
go.
Slow down. Okay, just come here.
I'm going to back up a hair. Okay, watch. I backed up a hair. Okay, I backed up too far.
If you use your arrow keys, you can move 5 seconds at a time.
God damn it, that's right. Right there, right there. That was
Go back 5 seconds.
I'm working.
Yeah.
How come it's black when I go back? 5 seconds.
Hey. Where's the White Claw?
Right.
It should be a.
What's that? What
That is too small to be a White Claw box, isn't it? I mean, you're talking about a 12-pack of White Claws. Or do they sell them?
What the hell is that right there?
That's
Hunter.
That's Hunter.
That's Hunter. It's Hunter.
I know. I was kidding. But is that
the White Claw?
Box?
Yeah, that is.
Yeah.
And so
when Nunez was walking through, I didn't see anything on there.
Right, I didn't see it coming up the stairs.
Go
Maybe
back.
Go back. When he first walks.
Wish we could live life this way, don't you think? Wouldn't that be awesome?
Yeah.
Oh my God, that was fun. Rewind.
I'm trying to get it to where the hell is he coming into the house? Did we go that far? Okay, he goes right here.
Someone needs to take take the controls away from Lee.
Here we go.
Flicker. Wait, back. Oh, those are keys. Never mind.
I'm on. God, I'm in the right place. Damn it.
Empty cans like a crack.
Yeah, they turn perfectly so you can't see the White Claw box. I have to presume it's there because he goes into the room, he comes back, and it's there.
I was on the stream the other day.
I think that we saw that ledge.
It is on the ledge. There's images shooting down the hallway, back from where that kid was standing. There's images from there forward. Okay. So from that corner of the couch looking down the hallway, there are pictures that show the White Claw. I thought that was the White Claw right there on the ground.
I know.
Right.
So did I.
How was that?
Yeah.
All right. So what have we learned here today, boys and girls? Okay,
Don't
now you're going to come
Friday up on your channel or it'll blow up.
Fucking pee. This all started with the pee pad.
Keep this guy out of your stream.
That is the White Claw box. And,
yeah.
And so let's stop for a second because this is important for me. To me it is a enormous deal that White Claw box is on top of blood from Ethan Chapin. How the fuck did it get out of the room and underneath a box?
Can I say something freaky?
Yeah.
Well,
sure.
she was witness bringing that box of White Claw to the home by Dylan earlier in the evening. Whose blood was under the White Claw? Isn't that Ethan's?
Yes.
Yeah.
Ding, 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 ding. You have second pee pad. Please answer.
Logically, there's no way Ethan's blood gets underneath the White Claw box. And again, and the reason why I'm making a big deal of it is I thought to myself, well, maybe the cops picked up the White Claw box and put it on top of the railing, didn't realize that they were covering up things. But it's clear. This is how they walked into the house.
Right.
Maybe
that's why you got to go back.
Ethan was home before Xana.
Yeah.
Maybe that bedroom was occupied prior to her getting home. There's never been a tell on when these two got there, and we assume they got there together, but this kind of says no. How could his blood get under that six-pack?
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So
you're right. Because I get the logic. So if
Right.
Santa brings the White Claw box, then Ethan's blood had to already be there before the White Claw box was put down on top of it.
And it didn't transfer, so it was already dry. What time did Xana get home?
Right.
Yeah.
Why do I feel like we're really close to finding that it's right there in the fucking book? You guys are just missing it.
Well
I think the point too.
Well, that was the rumor, right? That I mean, looking at all the stuff that we have, that they weren't together the whole night, Xana and Ethan.
We don't know that they were or weren't, but we can now bite into this fact that we know Dylan saw her with that White Claw, or was it Maddie that? Who did she see when she was walking down the staircase?
I thought it was Maddie that brought that, but it could have been more. I thought it was Maddie that supposedly brought White Claw box back. There's multiple White Claw boxes. So
I don't want to freak everybody out, but do you remember the interview that said there was a period of this night in which Ethan and Kaylee were on the couch together when nobody else was around? Remember I talked about that. It was in the reports that Ethan and Kaylee spent some time on the couch together when nobody was there. Because I said, is it possible that there was anything? And I just kind of let it go. But it's in a report somewhere about Ethan and Kaylee being on the couch.
I think that this feeds into a whole bunch of conspiracy theories when it comes to the concept of things happening at different times. And I think that it's kind of I don't know that we can argue that these 4 murders happened one pair and then another pair. I think that if you look around this crime scene, it may not in fact be that way. There may be different times, and they never really took the temperature of the livers and told us. They never did anything to establish time of death, right?
Right.
No, so, they said it was like 12 o'clock. They put it as like a weird time.
No, the time they put them on the table is what they claimed, right?
I don't think Mabbitt even got to get to the bodies for 5 hours after they had been laying there.
And they've been sitting for 8.
That she's signing the death certificate saying the time of death was 12 noon. When Nunez arrived?
Right.
Yeah, that's the only time she'd have been aware of, would be at noon that day. But this White Claw box, the table movements, I think the table movements and the covering tell a story. I think the covering of the bodies and the posing of the bodies, the cuts on the girls' necks, the comforter covering the girls, the comforter covering Ethan tells a story. And that story may in fact be that they were hiding from any observer coming into the property that anybody was dead. They would look sleeping, right?
Right.
And if Xana came in last, they waited around for her. Or she
and that's something that was said. Ethan was positioned in a way that it would make it look like he was just laying in bed kind of thing. So like you said, was it something they hoped somebody would just look at and not think that anything of it? It's just him sleeping in the bed kind of thing. But
Maddie brought
Yeah.
the white
Maddie
claw
brought the
That's
white
what
claw
I.
back.
That's what I
Yeah,
said.
that's what-
Yeah.
Yeah.
So then is it possible that after the bloodletting and then the traces, there's not a drop of blood on the floor is the most horrific thing to wrap your head around. It is not possible to not leave a drop of blood in that crime scene moving about that property. How could it not be on the floor?
Yeah.
Yet you have all this cast off in this second floor.
Yeah. And we spoke about the other night. There's definitely, we're not blood specialists, but it definitely looks like the direction on that outer wall the stairway that goes down from the second floor to the first floor that has it's a cast off of Ethan's blood. It definitely looks like the perpetrator or one of the perpetrators went out that front door.
And I know you guys already, heard me say it a million times, but for me, this White Claw box is definitive proof. In this moment, this frame right here is definitive proof that a cover-up happened. Because again, Ethan's dried blood is underneath this box of White Claw when the cops show up at the scene. There's no fucking way to explain that. There's no way to explain it. Ethan's blood cannot be underneath a box. It didn't fly underneath the box. Somebody put the box there after the blood had already had enough time to dry. So that's to me, this frame proves something's bullshit in Denmark.
And the cast off does too. When the relationship between Kaylee and Maddie's combined cast off, and Maddie and Ethan's blood individually are present, not as cast off in it per se, but on the door it shows diluted. And then it shows regular blood. It stops at the threshold of the room. But I don't know if I'd have to see the door to see where he's going with calling it diluted. But there is no combination of the four people's blood. And if they use one weapon, it's impossible to wrap your head around one weapon casting off blood for two girls and one guy and another girl, completely individual, separate.
Yeah.
That makes sense. Especially when the last kills were Zana and Ethan.
Lee, Amanda put pictures from Rollo backstage, in Teams.
Okay. What the hell is that?
It's the footprint.
Oh, the latent shoe print?
Oh, okay. Yeah.
I wish there was a better way for me to do this. Well, we'll get to those in a minute. I'm just out of curiosity. A little bit later in this video is another view of coming up the stairs. Nunez, I'm presuming it's all his body camera footage. It's a second pass. I just want to see if things have been disturbed and moved since the first. It's only been minutes. He's been in the house. He walked around. He came down. He got some crime scene tape, set it up. Then he's going back in the house. So has anything been moved since then? Did the chip bag get moved? Did the pee pad get moved? I'm trying to see when it moves.
Right.
Let's see if we can find out when
That's
it moves.
what's right. That's
You're in here now yourself.
Okay, the chip bag's still there.
And
This pillow, I swear, was over here earlier on the bed, on the not in the first shot, but this pillow at one point was up on the couch, wasn't it? And then later on it was in the, over here, or did I have that wrong? But anyways, the chip bag's there and there's no pee pad.
Right.
And the cup's still here on the floor.
Russell, please start it.
Back up, Lee.
What?
There's something on that. There's something on that wall between the hallway and the living room. I thought earlier they were markers, but I don't know that. They're there already.
Okay. Did I go back far enough or no?
No. You got to go all the way back to them walking from the living room by the cups.
Oh, right there.
See it on the wall?
Yeah. So those are not.
That
those
must
are
be
not
the heating
evidence for-
unit.
Yeah.
That might be the heating unit for the home.
Yeah. Good catch. Good catch.
So those are not markers.
Okay. Donut. There.
You shouldn't be touching that railing.
Yeah.
Gloves are not.
Wait, is the door open or closed there to the left?
Open.
Open.
It was open.
Yeah.
Okay.
See the hinges there? See the hinges?
It's open.
Yeah.
The door's
It's
open.
open. It's open, which also leads to the question: was Murphy just on the bed loose, or was Murphy in a crate? Was Murphy under the?
Murphy was in the
door's
room
wide
down
open.
wasn't he in the room down the hall to the right?
No, Kaylee's room here to the left, Sergeant Friday.
So the room where the murders were done down there?
Right, on the right.
Yes.
Okay, I'm sorry. All right.
Yes.
Why does that seem wrong?
I know.
It does seem wrong. This room out. No, you're wrong, Kath.
He's going into Kaylee's room. I think that's why.
Kaylee's room is to the left, right up the stair. When you're walking up the stairs.
Here's the tricky part, Sarge.
There's Sarge, right, to the left.
This is the tricky part, Sarge. So
that's Dylan's
room. Dylan's room. Here's the staircase go up. The problem is the staircase makes a switchback halfway up. So and that confuses everybody because Dylan's room's directly below Maddie's, and yet when you go up the stairs and you go immediately over here, you're thinking that's Kaylee's room, but it does a switchback, so it's actually opposite.
Why did they go so deep into her room with the amino black, but not onto the hallway, or the kitchen, or the living area?
Yeah.
Right. Look at that.
I know. Yeah. I know. But anyways, that trips a lot of people up. That
switchback did get switchback. Kind of like that pee diaper got you.
Dude.
All right, this is the bathroom.
But
yeah, I get it.
But anytime you want to, if you want to, like, as realism as you can get, where stuff is you have to go to these videos. You can't go by the pictures because they move so much shit around.
They've been altered in the pictures, so this is the best you're going to get of what it looked like when they walked in.
We're clear. Let's secure the outside first. So the front door.
You had to come in to tell them that.
There's the back entry. I was going to start taping it all off. I was taping the outside off.
They should have locked that down like a tick.
He's not wearing gloves.
No.
Let's stop here for a second. We're looking down the staircase. There's the ping pong table. There's the White Claw box. There's the cup in the walkway. Kitchen off to the side. Dylan's room.
Right there.
Yep.
Right. Where's the two right?
And they just shouldn't be climbing around, putting their hands and everything like that.
It went in there, and they found that there were two deceased. Why is Gunderson now having to go up there and look with his gloveless hands?
Yes.
Followed by Smith, followed by Snyder.
No.
I was gonna say one is a great question. Like at the moment that they walked up to the stairs and then found two more bodies, how is not everybody being extra careful? Like, holy shit, this whole entire house is a fucking crime scene.
It should be. It should be shut. It should be shut down. Everything should be sealed. That no one else should be going in. Maybe one supervisor. Maybe like one. Whoever's the supervisor. That's on.
Going in,
that's covering them.
Right.
Yeah.
Going in prepared with booties on,
definitely.
Outfit on. Yes. Yeah, they should have locked that as tight as a tick's butt.
Yeah.
that's fucking tight. I'll tell you that, man.
You can see Gunderson going up there. He was the supervisor. But why is Snyder following him up there, the canine cop, and Smith?
Yep.
No, they shouldn't be. No, they shouldn't be. It should really be the supervisor comes in, has to, whatever, verify whatever he's got to verify. And that's it. And then the next people that go in there should be the detectives, the medical examiner, the car, like that's it. You want to minimize. You have to minimize. Every person that goes in there is potential DNA and evidence leaving that scene.
Right. That's the worst part. It's not even that you're dropping anything off or tampering. It's that you're taking stuff out with you. When you grab that railing,
absolutely,
your glove might have some evidence.
Right. Absolutely. It's not always about corruption. It's just
it's not
the way that you walk up the stairs. You might mess up that one footprint that could have gotten the perpetrator.
This is why I don't understand the Turvey report. Why he didn't talk about that. The Turvey report, in my opinion, should have said that the Moscow Police Department destroyed the crime scene by walking in and out, up and down for hours.
We don't know that he didn't in his report. He's only sharing with us the reports that show heinous problems with the prosecution, their discovery, and the way Ann treated the client. I don't know that he didn't write something like that, or if he was even tasked to do that. You would think he would, though. I agree with that.
As he said, they went in there, they put themselves at risk because they didn't know if there was someone in there. Hey, dude, For 5 hours, you see these people walking in and out and up and down, Smith 10,000 times in and out of the back door, the supposed a point of entry, and unless they want their DNA to be all over.
Well, you know, what about the knife that Hunter had? Why isn't that on any of these early cam movements?
Good point. When we go back down the stairs, remember we see a moment to the ping pong table, the knife should be on the table.
Right.
Because it was one of the first things he asked him to do is put the knife down. Yeah.
It's in pictures. And here's the other thing too that kind of surprised me. Why did he ask Dylan where's the knives?
Yeah.
And then apparently he went and collected a knife. But my question is, what kind of an idiot would ask somebody where the knives are? They're in the kitchen. Stupid. I don't know.
Yeah, this is a good question. People are asking, why is this redacted right now? What is this officer doing? Why is this whole thing redacted?
Finger fucking evidence, probably.
Yeah. They don't want us to look in Kaylee's room, which again I find super fucking weird because that wasn't the scene of the crime. So why is Kaylee's room?
The dog is still there and he's not even rustling around or moving.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, we weren't able to
Explain that.
see. We weren't really able to see Dylan's room much, or either until they.
Well, this dog is terrified. That's why he's not coming out of that room. This dog is besides himself terrified because he's a witness or he understands what's happened here.
Yeah.
The dog.
Yeah.
does.
Yeah.
Or he'd be out there sniffing around and barking and right. If he was oblivious to all of this chaos and murdering, that dog would be present. Even if it didn't know all this activity, what dog wouldn't be curious? Sticking his head out of the door, doing something, whimpering, barking, something.
And by the way,
I would really have liked to have seen him, Murphy, on the body cam footage when they went in there to see if his fur was wet or dry or what. Because even if a dog is not, even if after a dog is bathed, if he's not brushed out or whatever, their hair still has a certain texture after it just dries naturally. So I really would have liked to have seen his fur when they first walked in there.
I think it tells us there's another story with the dog not interacting with anybody coming in and out of this house.
Yeah. Absolutely.
That's just unheard of. Is he actually on the balcony at this time, still locked outside for all we know?
Right. And there's a view of the balcony, by the way. And this switchback, you can see the balcony railing out here.
Yeah.
Oh, there's a balcony.
Yeah, there's a balcony that the bedrooms
railing?
have. Yeah, there's railing out here, and that's there's balcony outside of Kaylee's room, and you can see the railing back right here, even at the switchback. There's a lot of questions.
I want to say something quickly.
Yeah.
To my surprise, I was invited to join the Custody Queens sometime in one of their next streams.
Oh, nice.
I was beside me. I wasn't looking for that. I was asking them to ask Whitcomb a question, and they said they've seen my streams, and I thought it'd probably be good reason not to have me on your show. Just look at me on Lee's show and Dago's show. What's the matter? Right?
No, they're great. They're great people. They'll treat you right. That's be a good experience. So if you do it. Let's keep going just a little bit for I usually go about 2 hours. We're about 2 hours. So let's kind of continue down the staircase back into the main crime room, and we'll probably wrap up there with some final thoughts, but because then we'll just do it. We're here every night, so we can talk about this tomorrow night if we want to.
I already got it. I got in there. Shut down there.
Who's this now looking in there?
Well, it should be Nunez because this is all Officer Nunez body worn camera, so it should be all his.
Somebody looking into.
Well, yeah, who's in front of him? I don't know who the officer is in front of him, but yeah.
We're looking for a knife on a table now when it goes down. Just. There's the table. I see no knife. Stop. Is that the knife there in front of it?
Right here. This might be the knife there. Let's see if we can get better. Yeah, I think that is the knife. I mean, it's hard to tell with the low resolution, but I'll back up.
No, but I've seen a picture of it, and it's consistent with what I remember. No, that. You know what else is effed up? Is the thermostat is right there on the kitchen wall.
Yeah.
If that slider was open all night, that Wickham is right. That house would be 150 degrees.
Mm-hmm. Right. Oh yeah.
And
Throwing
that is
off
a
time
TV.
of death. Yeah.
Is that TV on in the corner?
It looks like a fish
Especially,
tank. Yeah, it's a
Is that
TV.
a TV or a fish tank?
Especially the third floor would have been like crazy
unbearable.
Yeah.
Is the TV still going? Like, is the TV still playing?
It looks like it's still on.
Vehicle 1 there, the headlights. What the heck?
Can we get it to stop just long enough to see what's on TV? No, just kidding.
Vampire Diaries?
That's what I was gonna wonder. Like, is it Vampire Diaries just playing?
Is it the TV though?
I think it is the TV. I think it is the TV. And out here, look.
Crimes
outside,
After Dark.
you can see,
Hulu or Roku.
You can see the witnesses all gathering up.
Might be
Again,
Hulu.
why are the witnesses to a quadruple homicide just allowed to congregate together and get their story together and shit? That's always bothered me. Anyways, that's enough for tonight. Do you guys, I mean, there's a lot of shit there, but I'm glad that we did this impromptu because that Amanda put more photos from Rolo Mato that we didn't look at, but do we need to look at those, Amanda, before we go, or can we save that for another night? Let's see. Well, let me go take a look at what she sent me one more time to see if it was important to show right now before.
It's only a minute 24 overly. It's not,
I know.
You got a doctor's appointment? Are you okay?
I'm
your
He needs another
bag
keypad.
leaking onto your doggy pad? What's happening over there?
It's got a hot date with Betty the Pig.
I was going to ask one a question, if you don't mind.
Yeah.
One, you're affiliated with law enforcement or something to that effect. I don't want to get specific. Is it right to assume is it right to have assumed that once these three guys exited the house should have been nobody should have been allowed in at all for any reason until a proper investigative team arrived?
Well, none of the regular patrol cops should have been in, because what happens whenever this happens all the time, whenever like something like big happens or crazy happens, maybe not so much where I work, because I seem to have bodies appearing left and right nonstop where I work, but yeah. In this place, they don't really deal much with this kind of thing.
I know.
So every Peter, Paul, and Mary want to come and see what happened.
See that foot?
You're absolutely right. It should have been completely.
All those people should have been separated and sat down in different locations, isolated, considered suspects. If it not
well,
witnesses.
Initially, Well, Hunter should have been placed in. If I had been on scene, if I was the one responding, Hunter would have been placed in handcuffs immediately. Yeah. Not that he's not. Just because you're in handcuffs doesn't mean you're
just
under
to
arrest.
because you don't know
yourself, because you don't know.
Right. Yeah. He's in the house and he's holding a knife.
And he's in a room of dead bodies that were carved up.
Exactly. So he would have been cuffed, and he definitely would have been brought down.
Right.
And then once I found out that Bethany and Dylan were roommates and they supposedly were there the whole night, they would have been brought down as well. The three of them would have definitely immediately would have been separated.
Separate cars. Yeah.
All right, I want to show you this series of photos. I think came from Rolo. It looks like Rolo is in here as well, but I don't have. Unfortunately, I don't think I can blow it up really super big. So hopefully you have a gigantic TV.
He's got a better picture. He says from the inside, pointed out of the room. But go ahead.
Let's take it. I'm going to take you through a series of pictures here. So here, look at the L4. This is the latent shoe print outside of. This is Dylan's room.
Threshold. Right? It looks like someone stopped there and talked to somebody.
So there's a top-down view of it. We're going to zoom in. There's the latent shoe print. There's a latent shoe print. So this is where I said, see how that's got a diamond pattern, but inside the diamond pattern on the shoes that were found in Dylan's room, there's an inside diamond, and that's where I said I don't see the inside diamond on the impression, so I don't know if I can definitively say it's
Dylan's.
Dylan's.
The heel or the toe of the shoe? That's the other question I've always had. How do we know which end of the shoe that is?
And then here's a picture of some shoes.
Yeah, the ones. Yeah.
In these Vans right here. Is these the ones or?
I don't know.
Looks like
no.
Looks like they're different sizes.
Oh, hey, look, there's some great DA merchandise right there.
There you go.
Anyways,
what's blacked out? What are they covering with the black mark?
Right.
They redact something.
So it looks like there's. Let me put it back on screen again. Looks like there's a piece of paper. So it looks like there's papers. So maybe they're hiding personal notes, schoolwork, whatever that they think is personal to Dylan. And
that's a folder, not a doggy diaper, right?
Right. It's not. Yeah, it's not a pee pad.
Now, what about the blue thing there behind the shoes? Are those slippers? What the hell are those? Go up the black shoe, right, touching the black shoe.
Oh, this
slippers?
right here.
Yeah.
Yeah. What the fuck is that?
I don't know. Some kind of a shirt, or
it looks like a belt. It looks like jeans or shorts or shorts.
Something.
Yeah.
There's a belt.
Yeah, that's a belt. That's a belt.
Boy, what a slob she is.
Huh. Yeah, so it's jeans.
Yeah, but they look like they're inside out. Did somebody?
It does.
There
Yeah,
and
it does look like they're inside out.
They probably wore so tight that that's the only way to get them off. I mean, isn't that how a lot of young girls do
it? Maybe.
I don't know.
And on that note, we should cut that shit off before we go.
Yeah, that's what I do on my Friday nights.
Listen, I'm going to run a stream. I'm going to start a stream in about 10:15 or so. I'm going to put up a stream just to horse shit around. But
that's awesome.
I'm very grateful. Grateful you brought me in here, and I'm glad that I could.
Hour, and you have not yet referred to the Moscow Police Department as the Keystone Cop. I'm very
well, and in 2022. They were the Keystone Cops, and in 2026, they've become king of the Keystone Cops. These guys are gone. Unreal. Serve and protect. Investigate a homicide with traffic cops. That's the way you do it.
All right. Well, on that note, thank you all for coming. Thank you, Sergeant Friday and Kathy's Indie Zone. What a great surprise. It was nice to have you on the show. I was pleasantly happy to find out, Sergeant Friday, when you called me out on your show that you weren't calling to shit all over me, but I didn't think you would. So I was like, I'm pretty sure that he's got something.
Listen, there's things I see streamers do, like you see your chats, other people's chats, my chat, and everybody's talking about Aryan Nights and all of this other stuff. And I think the story that really, the only story that matters is the individual accused rightfully accused, and is the case that was presented to the public and the courts properly handled? Yeah. That's all we have. That's all we've ever really had to focus on. And we go off on these tangents of the frat did it, the Aryan did it, the brother did it, the sister did it. I don't know who did it.
Well,
we may never know, right? We may never know.
Statement of the 26th of July says that the PCA and everything about this investigation is a work of fiction, but he's not pointing the finger at anybody.
No,
he's just basically saying,
pointing out that it's bullshit.
And it was actually, if you listen to Payne when he testified, that PCA was an accumulation of information given to him by other officers.
Yeah, it was a working document that they continually revised.
And why? Because some of those detectives have giggle over Brady violations against them. They didn't want to go in front of a judge. And the statements made in there are not supposed to be in a warrant unless they support a fact. But your belief that someone turns off a phone to mask a crime doesn't belong in the warrant when the guy you're tagging has never committed a crime. It's okay with me. I'm a convicted felon. You can make that statement in a warrant to me, but not to a Brian Kohberger or to a Lee or to a 1-1. If you guys aren't criminals, their statements can't even infer criminality in your life because
I know a lot of people give Payne, sort of like giving him some grace and everything, but it was his signature at the bottom of page 18 under oath, asking Megan Marshall to issue a warrant for Kohberger's arrest.
He's a fancy, that guy. He's an idiot.
Alone, I put it on him.
Everything went over his head because he's only 4 feet tall, for one. And for two, he's got such a shine on that head, nothing will stick. Right.
That poor bastard is getting just hammered for his height.
I'm going to jump down. Thank you for having me. Kathy,
all right, thank you.
1-1. Robin, you're off.
Thank you. Thanks all.
We'll talk with you.
Good night.
Take it easy.
Check me out on my stream. I'll be there shortly.
All right, sounds good. Make sure, do we post a link to his stream? It's get a link to the stream up there if we can. We'll put it up before we take off. All right, so thank you everybody for coming to our Crimes After Dark show, and we are going to wrap up there. Do you guys have any last thoughts, Robin? 1-1, last thoughts, parting thoughts?
No, this was a great exercise. So for everyone out there who is doing it live with us, as we like to do, right? Break it down live. You want to compare stuff with, look at crime scenes and things like that. The best is to go by the first responder, especially knowing how much stuff was moved and all over you're gonna make yourself nuts, like looking at the pictures.
And hopefully this is a stab, a throwback. If you know, you know. Hopefully we don't get reported tonight because we put the Ava Wood thing on the thumbnail and didn't talk about her. So therefore we're gonna get reported for false advertising or something like that. So, but
I did.
Hopefully
that's
that
not
doesn't
true.
happen.
That's not true.
Well, you did. That's right. You did talk about her in the monologue.
I mentioned it in my intro, so she was spoken about.
I think we're covered. All right. Have a good night, everybody. Thanks for coming. We'll see you again tomorrow night, 5 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, 8 Eastern. Later.
Good night, sweetheart.
Good night.